Hi! Hello and welcome to the Sunshine Corner. Happy afternoon, happy evening. Hi, Fina. I wanted to make a video today about waking up and how difficult it can be and how lonely it can feel to wake up and be the only one in your family that's paying attention to toxic patterns. Like our family members dealing with toxic patterns and continuing toxic patterns, enabling toxic people. I did a video on enabling versus empathy a couple days ago that really helps clarify. My family has plenty of codependency and toxic things, and what's the word I'm looking for? Plenty of hang-ups and plenty of people who are codependent and like to, I'm saying so much, but we have plenty of enablers, for Pete's sakes. I don't know why that word wouldn't come to me. Oh, anyways. Oops. We are so new here and it's so obvious. It's okay. So about being the bad guy, like trying to speak to your family about something that's hurting you, and then having them completely like tell you to shove off, pretty much. In more words than that or less words than that, doesn't matter. It hurts very, very, very much, and of course it's painful. But there are some ways that we can combat that so we're not swaying from the new path we're choosing just because we want to avoid difficult situations, or like we might want to avoid a confrontation with an abuser, so we won't bring it up to them, or we'll avoid bringing it up to them at the cost of our own peace. So we definitely want to get out of that cycle. How to recognize people pleasing and practice strength. So people pleasing is a way that we avoid difficult situations. People pleasing puts us in a compromised situation in order to avoid a different uncomfortable situation. So where a family member might be abusive to one of the children in the home, somebody may make excuses for that, or may try to ignore it. One family member may have hostility towards another one, and everybody sees it, but they all ignore it. And the one person that has the hostility being sent at them all the time through jokes, mean jokes, little small pranks, comments, things like that, situations being misconstrued. If we have somebody in our family that is being abusive to another family member, and we avoid that person that's being abused first, might avoid saying something to that person or anybody in the family, because if I bring it up, then it's going to be an argument. They're going to make me feel bad for bringing it up in the first place. I'm going to feel more abandoned and alone at the end of the conversation than I do right now. So I'll just deal with the hurtful comments and continue to feel hurt by them. Or maybe some of us feel like we try to change ourselves in a way that it won't hurt us, which to an extent can be helpful, to an extent can be good for us. We want to always be willing to change our own behavior where it is needing to be changed. But if we are we have to be careful not to stifle ourselves to avoid an uncomfortable situation. To practice strength. Setting boundaries with people who abuse you is so difficult when it is your family, when it is people that you feel you can't get away from or survive without. This is why it's so detrimental when children are going through this with their parents, because when they are below a certain age, they're not capable of fending for themselves, so they must completely revamp their own brain, become someone new, and practice that every single day until they're perfect at it. Because if they don't, they could die. If their parents don't take care of them, they could die. This is what the children know. They know this to be true. If I'm 3 years old and my mother leaves me in the forest, I'm gonna die. So we don't go against our authority figures. We learn that very early. Proving to yourself the consequences won't be detrimental. That goes with practicing strength. You want to practice holding your boundaries, right? So if someone has a bad habit of saying backhanded comments to you, right? Depending on who it is, of course, will determine how you handle the situation. But if you are dealing with a family member, if you're an adult, right, and you're dealing with another adult family member who is constantly giving you backhanded compliments. So, like, oh, you look way cuter today than yesterday. So it's a compliment, like, you look good today, but you're saying I look like shit yesterday. So thanks, but no thanks. We recognize those as toxic. We understand that is toxic behavior, and when we do recognize that as toxic behavior, we start to create space between us and that person or that behavior. So we will set a clear boundary. We will say, I don't like the way you try to compliment me. It hurts my feelings and I won't deal with it. It's toxic and I don't deserve that behavior. So if you continue to make backhanded comments or compliments towards me, I will have to create space between me and you so that you can no longer hurt me until you figure that out. Period. Once you state that much in different words, whatever words, once you state that, you must stick with it. You have to stick with it. If you keep talking to me like that, I'm going to leave. Then when they continue to talk to you like that, you must leave. You must leave. There are multiple reasons. For one, you're proving yourself something. You are proving something to yourself. You cannot break your own word to yourself. That is very damaging. It's dangerous. Don't do that. Two, what did I say? You're proving something to yourself. And two, they will know that your boundaries don't mean anything. The first time you set a boundary and you don't keep it, they learn that you are breakable. And so they learn that it's okay. What she said, it doesn't fucking matter. She can say whatever she wants. She's gonna still be here. She's gonna still continue to deal with it. I can behave however I want. And then the toxic behavior tends to get worse after that. And sadly, this happens, like, when we're young. We'll say, Dad, don't talk to me like that. It hurts my feelings. And then we'll get berated and we'll be like, oh, okay, never mind. Fine, talk to me that way. Until we're old enough to deal with it. You don't need to be perfect to be confident. How other people, because sometimes when we're trying to become a better person or find who we truly are, when we're waking up, it becomes really, really hard to ignore the toxic behavior, and it becomes increasingly difficult to be around it. So you will start creating space between you and these toxic people naturally. It will be something you can't even really, you can't deal with the things you used to deal with. And it'll actually make you sick for a little while. That's a fun trip. It'll actually make you sick for a little while, the things that you used to put up with, until you, heal with and self-understanding and all that goodness is. Love you. But you don't have to be confident you don't have to be perfect to be confident. We have a tendency to avoid telling people how they make us feel because we have a deep-seated fear of what will happen if we do that. either we feel like we'll be abandoned if we tried to stick up for ourselves as children and we got berated. We'll be afraid that that's what's going to happen. And even if this person we're trying to create a new boundary with now as an adult has never berated us in that way, we will still have that deep-seated kind of the resistance to telling them the truth, because we're afraid we're going to get the same kind of reaction we got before. Whether it's berating or physical abuse or anything, mental, emotional abuse. We have a tendency to avoid our own needs. This is what we've kind of been all taught, to avoid our own needs for the benefit of the family or whatever. You're supposed to be self-sacrificial. But when you do this, you empty your cup so that you have none to give. And then everybody's walking around empty and hurting each other. Very clever they were to do that. So that's where the people-pleasing comes in. You know, when you avoid telling someone the truth of how they make you feel out of a fear of consequence or abandonment or any kind of consequence, then we don't want to, we all want to be kind people, right? We all want to be kind. And we have to know the difference between being kind and people-pleasing, because being truly kind is for no benefit, for no self-benefit. Truly kind is just kind for the sake of being kind. People-pleasing is playing nice to avoid discomfort. Very important distinction. The being the bad guy, it sucks at first, and it's really hard to deal with at first. But we start to get it, we start to understand it from a different perspective when we start to understand ourselves. We understand as we grow and learn and teach ourselves about, or start to understand why we are the way we are, why we do the things we do, why we say the things we say, and why we feel the things we feel. We start to recognize those things in other people as well. So when you start to wake up and you start to bring up things to your family that you don't want to be that way anymore, you need them to change in order for you to be comfortable, or for you to live there still, then you'll start bringing those up to them. They can label you the frickin' criminal. They can call you names. They can try to discredit you. They can try to make you look bad in front of other family members, or they can all collectively turn against you. They can try to, anything. They'll try to stop you because you're ripping away an entire facade that they created, and that took a long time to create. So where we start to understand, we start to be understanding with our family members as we understand ourselves. We understand, I have done bad things before, but when I was doing those bad things, I realized now, when I was doing those bad things, I was in pain, I was reacting out of pain, I was acting off of emotion, whatever the emotion might have been at the time. And doing this ended up with consequences later on down the road. We learn from this, and we learn to recognize those patterns in other people as well. So we tend to not be as angry with them as we were. We'll be really, really angry with them when we're going off of our emotion. We'll be like, I never want to see you again. And then once we have a little while to understand where they're coming from, or sympathize with where they're coming from, you can end up kind of enabling them or excusing their behavior. This is also people-pleasing, because what you're really doing is avoiding something that would make your life much better. You're avoiding that discomfort that would make your life better in order to maintain the comfortable level of discomfort that you have already. they're gonna call you the bad guy. They're gonna call you the bad guy. They're gonna try to make you feel bad for bringing these things up. And if you are still acting off of emotion, then you will release your grip. You will falter on your boundaries. You will make exceptions and allowances for the toxic behavior. And this is way more hurtful than helpful. They can call you the bad guy, but when you start to understand the reason they're calling you the bad guy is not because you're the bad guy, but because they are trying to avoid having their pretty play destroyed. Because if you think about it, they're doing their best and you're doing your best. They are doing the best with what they were given. If they knew how to do better, they would definitely be doing better. If they knew how to save themselves and be happy, full, complete person and save others, they would do that. They would do that. If they knew how to do that, they would do that. They're learning just like you're learning. So when somebody ends up being bad or calling you the bad person for trying to bring down their fake facade, it's because they spent so much time building that up, and that's the best they could come up with. So that freaking sucks. Imagine if you build a swing set the best you can, and because it's not perfect, somebody bashes it down to rebuild it without saying. You might get a little bit frustrated because you spent a whole lot of time building that freaking swing set. But it's also important to recognize that if it's broken and not built properly, it can cause many, 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 many injuries later. So you want to take it down and rebuild it. It's worth it to do so. Some people don't feel that way. Some people prefer to stay small because that's where they're comfortable at, and that's fine too. They will call you the bad guy. That's okay. You are not the bad guy for trying to make yourself happy and trying to do what would heal you. Because really, in all actuality, if you're trying to mend a relationship and get someone to understand how they're hurting you, then that doesn't just benefit you for them to learn that. That benefits them and everybody else that they meet ever for the rest of their lives ever. Everybody else that they have in their lives already. If they have a very toxic attachment style and you are bringing that to the light, you're doing them a favor, even if they refuse to listen to you. Even if they're like, I don't want to listen to you, you're crazy, you're stupid, you're so emotional, you're so dramatic, whatever it is. They'll definitely try to cut you down for wanting better or wanting more, because if you want more, what you're saying is that they're not doing good enough, and some people take that as an insult rather than an invitation to try. And that's fine. Some people like being small, some people don't like being small, and they choose to get up. What else? I'm just gonna get one of these little oracle cards really quick. They have wonderful messages on here. But what else? I think that's pretty much all I've got on the subject. I think that's pretty well all I've got on the subject. Yeah, I think, well, when you start waking up and start deciding that you want better, you'll start to learn the things that they're doing. You'll start to understand why they're doing those things. Then you'll start to excuse them things. Then you'll start to focus more on you and what you deserve, and then you'll stop excusing those things. And then you will kind of feel like you don't have any choice, or you can't stand to do anything but create space between you and that person. And then when that starts happening, you start realizing how much peace you can bring yourself by commanding your own reality the way you were supposed to. And, oh, there was an ant on my back. Woo! Feels so scary. Okay, so I can still feel. Okay. Wild Woman Oracle card. This is a fantastic oracle deck. I love them so much. It's all the women, but they of course apply to the men as well. So No need to click off. There, think. Anything else about healing around people who don't want to heal? You are never wrong for wanting to heal, even if the rest of the family around you doesn't want to heal. If they are comfortable in their delusion, that's fine. And there are many ways for you to talk to everyone. You know your family best, so you know which conversations are going to be necessary where. If you are dealing with coworkers and things like that, you know them better than I do. So you make your best judgment call. The only thing you have to focus on the most is making sure that you are not sacrificing your peace for temporary comfort. This is what we're not doing. This is a karmic year. 2024 is a karmic year. So we have a lot of things coming up and coming out, especially with the eclipse coming up now. A lot of emotions and things are being brought up and stripped away, and we're all having a chance to bring them up and pay attention to them. We're all having a chance to have these things put in our face. We can pay attention to them, learn what we need to learn about them, and release them. Or we can continue to ignore them and continue the same toxic patterns we've been having. And this will bring us our karma. This is how everything is set into place. Everything is exactly how it's meant to be, when it's meant to be. And if you are waking up and realizing that there are hurtful things happening in your family and other people don't want to pay attention to it, you are 100% not in the wrong. You are more than welcome to choose who you have in your reality. Whether it's family or not, you are more than welcome to choose. You are more than welcome. You are more than created to choose. That's what you're here for. You are here to choose. You are here to learn to build your peace. Here to learn to build your peace so that you can spread peace. Because if you are filled with chaos, all you will be able to spread is chaos. So if you are peaceful and happy, then people will feel peaceful and happy around you. And this creates a lovely, contagious little thing. Sadly, it's also contagious when you do it negatively. So if you have a bunch of chaos in your heart, you go around people, they're gonna freaking feel that chaos. People who are attracted to chaos for whatever reason, toxic traits, whatever, they will be attracted to it. But healthy people that are good for you are not going to want to be around you until you've healed. So here we go. Spirit, can I have one card, please, for the collective? Those of us who are in this video. Spirit, please, can I have one card for those of us watching the video? Anyone in the collective that needs this? Spirit, please, can I have a card for the collective? Medusa, Sacred Rage. It is absolutely important for you to stand up for yourself. Sacred Rage. Sacred Rage. We're talking about, this is why everything's perfect. We're talking about standing up for yourself and how it's okay to be the bad guy. There's a couple different stories about Medusa. One of the stories is that she was liked by Zeus and or was it Poseidon? Anyway, somebody was in love with her, wanted her really badly, and she didn't want him, so he raped her, and the wife, Hera, out of being either out of jealousy because she had an affair with him, turned her into a Gormagon? Because she was one of 3 sisters. 2 sisters were Gormagons, and she was also a Gormagon, but she was the beautifulest one out of all, and so out of the 3. So one of the gods, either Zeus or Poseidon, decided to go after her, and then it turned into a whole scene where they had an affair or a rape, and then Medusa was either blessed with a body that wouldn't be to look like her sisters. For one, she was blessed to look like her sisters, and to not be pursued by the god that wanted to rape her. In another version, she was cursed to look like her sisters, and cursed to be undesirable by men, and to turn them to stone, of course, when she looked at them. But sacred rage, it is so important for women to have rage. We are constantly told when we are young to control our tempers and stay quiet and be polite and be sweet and quiet, whatever the fuck. We're taught that it's not okay for us to be mouthy and loud and about things. When we are being hurt about something, we're told to be quiet, or we're told that we're crazy and women are just impossible to please. Love that. So the sacred rage comes from deep in the female psyche. If we go back 9,000, I think it's 9,024 people who had to come into combination exactly the way they did. No brothers and sisters can be switched. No DNA can be switched ever. You would be 100% different if one of your ancestors was different. So 9,000 some odd people had to come together in exactly the combination to make you. You are perfect the way you are, and everything that your family members, your ancestors had gone through in the history is in your DNA. So if you have a lot of rage, when you are healing and you're starting to understand yourself and you have a lot of rage, it's probably because that rage was forced down when you were young. Somebody told you that it wasn't okay for you to show your rage or display your rage or to release your rage. We might not have even been taught a healthy way to do so. So it's important. The rage is important. The rage is what comes when we are being treated how we're not supposed to be treated. When something is going against our alignment with our spirit, when we know that something is wrong, it pisses us off, okay? It pisses us off. It makes us angry, exactly as it should. If somebody is treating you poorly, you should be angry about it. If somebody is abusing you, you should be angry about it. But you don't need the anger in order to maintain distance or maintain boundaries. Some of us like to make boundaries when we are angry, and then later on when we're not angry, we'll sway on the boundaries because we'll probably feel guilty about the way that we acted when we were angry, because we're taught that that's bad. And then, or we can just, I keep losing my train of thought, I'm so sorry. But anyways, squirrel. I'm outside. There's just so much stuff moving around. It's nuts. I just want to know and look at everything. So, sacred rage. When I was dealing with my rage, I used to have, when I was younger, I had so much rage that I could not control it. I was so hot all the time. So very hot all the time. And it would take absolutely nothing. It would take a little to just set me off, because I was already holding so much of that rage. I didn't have any capacity for anything else or any more rage. So if anything else made me even a little bit frustrated, it would turn into frustration to rage immediately. There was no build. So I had to start confronting the rage and where the rage was coming from. I found out that the rage was coming from me not setting clear and maintaining boundaries. So people were pushing on me, people were stepping on me, people were using me, and people were hurting me for their own gain. Of course you're going to be rageful. Of course you're going to have rage about that. You're supposed to. So when I would refuse to, or I would be shunned, if I got angry even a little bit, if I went like this too hard with my face, I'm so serious. If I went like this too hard with my face, my entire family would begin a group berating session where I would be shamed, verbally abused, mocked, discredited, gaslit, and just all around shit on. So of course I had a whole bunch of rage. And it turns out while I was healing that, the reason I felt so much rage is because, for one, it wasn't right for me to be dealing with that, but also because my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, great-great-great-grandmother, great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, all of them dealt with the same type of bullshit and more. And because of all of that, lessons that they learned and they weren't able to clear, they passed that rage down to me. Not because they wanted me to hold rage, but because you have to be the one to break it. You gotta get pissed about this. You gotta get done. You gotta get so sick of it that you're not gonna deal with it anymore, no matter what the consequences is. I'd rather die than live in this situation again. Then you win. Then we're all free. Then you wake up. Then you start to reach for your own happiness and start to realize that you can control your own reality. And then you start to realize that the rage you're having, it might not just be yours. It's not right for you to be abused. So all of the abuse that your ancestors went through, that whatever they weren't able to clear and process and learn from will be passed down to your DNA so that you can learn from it, because we can't start from scratch every single time. We got to start from where we are. I know what I know. When I have a child, he knows in his DNA what I know. Well, 20 years later, if something crazy happens and I learn something drastically different, then when I have another child, he will know what I know then, not what I knew today, right? In his DNA. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. Magical, amazing. Let's see some of the symbolism that's going on in here. Each time a woman stands up for herself, she stands up for all women. Okay. When you start to wake up, when you start to tap into the collective, when you start to understand that you are a part of the whole and what you do affects all and what they do affects you, but you can control what affects you, then you start to understand that we are all connected and everything is connected, and that rage that you have is not just for you. As I said earlier, when you heal a relationship with somebody in your family, you don't just benefit the two of you. You benefit everybody that you know. You benefit everybody that they know. They get to use those skills that they just got in every other relationship that they have from then on. Even the ones they haven't started yet. You can make all kinds of shit. You can fix everything. So when you are feeling that rage, that somebody is treating you poorly and you are feeling that rage, it might not just be yours. It's not right, because when somebody's shitting on you, they're shitting on your whole family, they're shitting on your beliefs, they're shitting on your ancestors. You can't, no. Hell, nobody gonna deal with that. Nobody, it's number 24, by the way. Nobody is required to put up with that shit. Okay, so we have a crescent moon, we have her tears, yes, sacred rage. Somebody been crying a lot? Somebody getting so angry that they're crying? A lot of us have that, where we get so angry that we just cry because we don't know what else to do. Okay, then we have the Pegasus in the back, beautiful white horse winged. That's about spirituality and about taking flight. Because a horse is such a steady steed, you know, determined. Think like a jockey. You're gonna get where you're trying to go. Okay? And it's going to be a connection between you and the thing too. It's not like a car. You just put shit into the GPS and get in the car, and the car serves you the whole time. It's a Pegasus. It's a living thing. So when you are riding the Pegasus, it is taking you, but you are also taking it. It's a tandem situation between you and the divine. We must reach. The universe is always reaching, always seeking to help, always showing you what you don't already know so that you can know. But if you are not trying to learn, all of the lessons will be missed on you. So it's a tandem thing. You must reach. And then, what else? Of course, the snakes in the hair. Lots of snakes. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 snake heads. 6 snake heads. 6 is a number of balance, and snakes are an animal symbolic of change, shedding, releasing. This is all that this eclipse is about. This is everything that the eclipse that's happening right now on the 2nd is about. The eclipse is about bringing to light things that are emotionally damaging, toxic emotional patterns that we have. They're going to be triggered around this time. People are going to be pissing you off. They're going to be reminding you of traumas. They're going to be, anything that you haven't processed and dealt with yet. The divine loves you, and you don't deserve to deal with that. So your divine team wants to help you heal that. All you have to do is reach. So the eclipse is bringing up old things so that we can see them, understand them, accept them, and let them go. In that order. So that's why the snakes are here. 6 is about creating balance. Snakes are about transformation. And venom also. Self-defense. Self-defense. Snakes are about self-defense because they don't go and mess with people. They don't like people specifically. They stay in their own spot, but if somebody steps too close, you only have one shot, bitch. I'm going to inject you. Don't step on me. So then you got the Pegasus, which is behind the divine rage. So your divine rage that's coming up right now is divinely guided. It is there for a divine reason. It is there because you deserve it, not deserve the rage, but you deserve to release that rage. You deserve to use it. You deserve to defend yourself. Yes. And the stars. The stars. What about the stars? "13 stars. "14 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 stars. The number of temperance. The number of the temperance angel. The number of alchemy. 4 is a feminine number. I'm not sure if 1, I think 1 is a masculine number. And then the 2 of them coming together make 5, which is a number of transformation. So you're taking the divine feminine, who is being brought up right now with the eclipse, the moon feminine, is blocking out the very powerful and all energizing masculine sun. So we are being told here to pay attention to our feminine side. Some of us may not be taking so good care of our feminine sides. Might not be, a feminine wants to be provided for. So some of us might not be providing for ourselves in a healthy way. A feminine wants to be protected, so we might not be protecting ourselves in a healthy way. A feminine wants to be accepted. Also masculines want to be accepted. So acceptance. And a feminine wants to be loved. When you love something, let's just get specific. When you love something, you give it its basic needs for survival and then some. So if I love my plant, I'm going to fertilize it. I'm going to water it. I'm going to change its soil whenever you have to. I'm going to make sure it's in the right size pot. I'm going to give it, because basically to survive, all it needs is water and sunlight and soil. Water and sunlight and soil. But if I truly love that plant, I'm going to put it in a good lighting area. I'm going to give it the nice airflow. I'm going to give it the good water, not just the shit from the pond outside. I'm going to give it, some love and attention. I'm going to make sure, check on it every day. I'm going to make sure every single day that this plant is doing good, has what it needs. Because if I walk by and I notice that it needs some water and I don't give it some water, that's not very loving, is it? Don't do that to yourself. When you get up in the morning and you don't drink water and you go straight for your coffee instead and you dehydrate your cells even more, it's not very loving. It doesn't feel very loving, and it is a very small situation. It's a very small step, but small steps make big, big impacts. So if your smallest thing, if your biggest thing is your coffee addiction and you don't drink enough water and that's how you lack love in yourself, then fix that. If you drink too much alcohol, fix that, because that's poisoning your body. It's not very loving. If you haven't been taking care of your space, so you live in a pigsty or a mess, that is not very loving. You don't feel very loved if you are in a nasty environment. If we love something, we think it deserves to be in a lovely place. If we love something, we want to put it in a lovely place. So today, put yourself in a lovely place. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself and making sure that you are not depleting yourself for the comfort of someone else. Doing this will never, ever, 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 ever get you somewhere you want to be, okay? So Medusa says, how can I channel my sacred rage to create something beautiful and empowering? What is happening in your life that makes you angry, that you are not doing the best you can with? Medusa supportively and lovingly stands with you in solidarity in the face of any injustice, and affirms that your sacred rage is seen, heard, and valid. While many spiritual people today believe that feeling anger in any capacity is harmful or bad, this belief itself is actually extremely harmful. Anger is a completely natural and incredibly powerful emotion that can and should be channeled to create things of great beauty. Although Medusa was pursued by many, she vowed to remain celibate as a follower of Athena. After being rejected countless times, the sea god Poseidon, I called it Zeus, sorry dude. Sorry, he's done plenty of junk, he's used to being accused of the wrong stuff, sorry dude. Poseidon was considered unthinkable. While many tried and failed to kill Medusa, Perseus immediately beheaded her. Athena cursed Medusa, turning her long locks of hair into venomous snakes, and punishing a god as powerful as Poseidon was considered unthinkable. While many tried and failed to kill Medusa, Perseus ultimately beheaded her, and from Medusa's neck sprang the gorgeous winged horse, Pegasus. Perseus killed cruel titans and kings with Medusa's head and later gave it to Athena, who placed it upon her aegis or shield. Aegis. I'm not sure how to say that. Killed cruel titans and kings with Medusa's head. Huh. I just love that. Ah! Okay, so she got killed. She was cursed, right? She was cursed, but even after she was dead, she was used, her head was used to take down more annoying, trifling tyrant men. So the sacred feminine rage, even if you kill it, it's still there. You can kill the grandmothers, you can kill the mothers, they are all dead and gone now, but still that rage resides within each and every one of us vengeful daughters, because we are not nothing. Our mothers and our grandmothers were not nothing, but they got treated like they were, and that's stupid. So of course we get to be mad. Medusa is depicted in a fit of rage, with tears streaming down her face. She represents the raw, sacred rage of all women who have ever been harassed, assaulted, or abused by the hands of men without receiving the compassion, empathy, and justice they deserve. Although nothing can right the abuse that Medusa endured at the hands of Poseidon, the majestic Pegasus that emerged from her severed neck is a symbol of the power, beauty, and goodness that can arise when we transform our deepest pain into our greatest source of strength and resilience. I think that's pretty freaking fantastic, guys. 45-minute video is not how long I meant to make it, but, we do the best we can. But we do the best we can. Let's see if something else pops out, and if nothing else, Spirit, is there any more messages for the collective? Thank you so much for that wonderful message. That was perfect. Felt so good. I am doing one more, Spirit. Ah, thank you. Witch of the Winter Woods, healing. Our sacred rage can lead us into absolutely delicious healing. When you've lived your whole life without eating vegetables or fruits, then your body works and you will survive, but you won't have the nutrients that your body needed to excel, to work at its best 100% capability. So when you take the time to eat a bunch of fruits and vegetables for like a week or 2 weeks or 2 months, then you start to notice all of the big differences in your body that you didn't notice when they weren't there, but you notice now that they are there. So healing is the same way. You don't really realize how much damage you're doing until you heal and see what the healed version of that damage could be. Then you realize what you've been missing. Okay, so this is number 18, Witch of the Winter Woods, healing. There's a lovely owl. It's snowy. She's in her dress. There's a cat. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. 1 cauldron. 1 magical herb book. I see a full moon in the back. And roses in the front. Roses in the front, berries in the back, pine farther back. Roses, berries, and pine. Roses, berries, and pine. I feel like nature. I feel like what you're being told to do here is to go in nature. To take your time and understand how Mother Gaia releases things. Understand how Mother Gaia can be so cruel and unforgiving. But always is divinely in order. If something is harming her children, it will not last. If some of her children are in pain, if they rest in her, she will take it. She will take it back. She will transmute it. She will grow something beautiful from it. The same way, if you kill somebody, they fall to the grass, their bodies decompose, go to all of the creatures, go into the soil. The soil puts the nutrients into the plants. The plants get eaten by those things get eaten by other things eat those things, and the cycle continues. It's an ever beautiful balance. If something is bringing you rage, it's because it's supposed to be healed. It's supposed to be looked at. You're supposed to understand it. Love is very, 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 very healing. Allowing your sacred rage to flow out of love for yourself is the most powerful thing you can do. Loving yourself enough to demand respect from the other people around you is a huge power move that you don't really realize you're not doing until you start doing it. You don't realize the power of it until you start doing that. Witch of the Winter Woods, 18. So we need to make sure that we are healing in this situation, especially with the eclipse happening right now. We need to make sure that we are healing that which is coming up right now. Go in nature, take a walk, think clearly, take time to think clearly. If you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed out or something, take time to think clearly. Take time to understand what it is that you're feeling stressed out about. Witch of the Winter Woods. What needs healing within me right now? And how can I use the magic of herbs, flowers, and trees to restore my sense of well-being? So I did mention herbs, flowers, and trees. So I did mention the roses, the berries, and the pine. Roses, berries, pine. Pine is protective and healing. Roses are passionate and berries are life-sustaining or deadly. Pine. Oh, okay. So the roses are beautiful and loving flower, but they also have thorns. So they're beautiful, but don't fuck with them. Berries are beautiful and can sustain life for years, but they can also kill you if you don't pick the right ones. So learn about that shit. Take the time to learn about what it is you're picking and eating. Take the time to learn about what it is you're picking on. Take the time to learn about what it is that's hurting you so that you can alchemize it, so you can make the right decisions based off of knowledge, not off of emotion. Berries can sustain you or they can kill you. Do your research. Pine can heal you, protect you, or it can poke the shit out of you. It's very pokey. That's very sticky, very pokey. So if you go grabbing on and stuff, you throw yourself into a damn pine bush, you're gonna get poked up. You might break a few branches on that beautiful pine tree, but you're about to get, you're gonna get scratched up, okay? Because as you should. Everything within nature is perfect. Everything within nature is perfect. Something as simple as a rose bush with thorns. Absolutely beautiful. People want them. But if you're not careful, they'll poke the shit out of you. They'll even make you bleed. because you should have respect for Mother Gaia's things, Mother Gaia's children, Mother Gaia's spirits. Ow. Safely take advantage of the willing well-being. Safely take advantage of the healing power and benefits of the herb, flowers, and trees that are available to you at this time. I told you, get in nature. Something about, I have a feeling like somebody's going to be living around something. Some of y'all know what it is I'm talking about. Some of y'all know exactly what it is that I'm talking about, I think. Some of you just had a plant or a weed or something pop up in your area and you just learned about it, and it turns out that it's something that you needed. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's going to keep happening. That happens for all of us. If you don't read about herbs or learn about herbs and weeds and things, just for funsies, a couple times, maybe snap a picture of a weed, a random weed, and look up the health benefits of it and what it can be used for in medicine, because you'd be fucking shocked. Shocked. You don't need doctors. You need Mama Gaia. Before the rise of Western medicine, plants were the original source of medicine and healing. What did I say? Every plant that Mother Earth has generously given us possesses its own energetic essence and magical properties that not only affect our physical bodies, but our minds, hearts, and spirits. This wise woman, or witches of many ancient cultures, of many ancient cultures, such as Celts, understood and valued the magical healing power present upon the earth, and sometimes even died for merely holding this sacred knowledge. Somebody has a witch wound. Somebody here might have a witch wound. Look into that. There's a wonderful woman named Maria. I wish I remembered what her page was called, but there's a wonderful woman named Maria. She does a wonderful videos, a couple of them actually, on the witch wounds and how to understand and heal it and recognize it. Though collectively we have largely forgotten this power, those who follow modern witchcraft and paganism, the old ways, know of the potent magic present within all plants. On the eve of the winter solstice, this witch is merely partaking in a self-healing ritual in the middle of a quiet, snow-covered woods with her familiars. On the tree stump in front of her are herbs, spices traditionally associated with Yule and the winter season, such as myrrh, frankincense, cinnamon, and the star anise. As the cauldron bubbles, she throws in one last herb sprig to enhance the brew's magical protective and healing power. Didn't see that. Oh, excuse me. How she is actually reaching. She's reading the book, but she's throwing that last herb into the cauldron. There's one last thing. There's so many things gathered already. She's got so much that she needs already. So much support and everything she needs already. Just one more thing to make it perfect. Wow. What a beautiful message today. That's fantastic. Who? Rise of the Inner Warrior. Roses and Thorns. There's a panther and an oxen behind. Solidarity. I shock you, rock you. I clear the way for what's to come. I can be I can be slight or stupendous, brief or long-lasting, uproaring and uprising. What I can be, what I can't be is ignored. I like that. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. Absolutely fucking yes! Oh, I am no longer accepting the things I can't change. I am changing the things I can't accept. I freaking call the shots here. This is my world. You're just a squirrel trying to get a nut. I'm just playing. Solidarity. I feel like that is so absolutely. And we've got the rose bushes. The rose bushes again. Oh, 18 and 17. Somebody might be regressing in some way, or you might be feeling like you're regressing. Oh, some of us might feel like we, oh God, what's happening? Oh God, I'm losing it. I was making so much progress, and now I'm worried I'm falling back into my old self. Okay, it's okay. Don't panic. These things are being brought up because of the eclipse. They're not being brought up because, and Medusa's right underneath there again. Shoot. They're being brought up for a reason. It's not because you're regressing. You're not falling back. You are on the right track. Everything is exactly as it's meant to be. Allow it. Wow. Something about fixing divine masculine and feminine balance. How can I, in solidarity with others, direct my passion and genius towards fighting against oppression? Is there anybody in your family that you can reach out to? Anybody in your friends group that you can reach out to? And if not, is there anyone in your divine team that you can reach out to and ask for help with dealing with whatever it is you feel unmovable on? Something might also, with that rage, something might be pissing you off right now. And either you need, hi Athena, either you need your thorns, or it's something about the roses and the thorns. It's definitely something about the roses and the thorns. Here, you look at that. You are being called to tap into the heart of goddess Oya and the mind of activist Angela Davis, to become the embodiment of the mature warrior who fights for something greater than yourself. Recognize that you cannot be free when others are oppressed, and stand on solidarity with others to possess the same commitment to a particular cause. It is about the collective. It is about the collective. You are transferring, you are transmuting more than just what is yours. You are transmuting what is for everyone. So keep at it. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Don't let somebody else guilt-tripping you stop you from doing what is best for you. Women, especially minority women, have often been excluded from being identified with the warrior, as this archetype has primarily been associated with men and masculinity throughout the ages. What's more, some women continue to suffer under the rule of the shadow warrior, who revels in violence and misogyny. Yet the mature warrior consciousness is rising, particularly in those who historically have been oppressed and silenced, and is compelling us to proclaim within, I am responsible for what happens here, and I must do what I can to make a better world for myself and others. Wow, Wubsy. Wow. I told you. Freaking fantastic. Okay. There we are. Rise of the Warrior, Medusa, Witch of the Winter Woods, and the Rise of the Warrior. Thorns, rose bushes are relevant. Herbology. Releasing wounds being triggered. Allowing yourself to feel rage and not trying to press it down out of guilt. And reaching to someone in your community. Reaching to someone in your community. Somebody has an ancestor trying to reach them. You'll know who you are, and you'll know who I'm talking about too. They've been trying to talk to you. It is a woman that's trying to reach you. I don't know if you're a woman or not, but she is a woman. Waves? Waves? Something about the ocean. Huh. Okay. I think that's it. That's all yeah. Yeah. Okay. You guys have an absolutely wonderful day, weekend, night, whenever you're getting this. I really, really hope that this helped. Please give me a like and a follow. I'm going to try to post every day this week and see what happens. Still very new to this YouTube thing, so bear with me. Thank you so much for watching, and I really, really, really hope that something in this is helpful for you. Please feel free to comment what's going on, and I love you. Bye.